Hi, it's Karen Davis here again from glittermesilly.com, and I'm making a card today with some new products that I've just received in the mail this week. First of all, the stamp set from Concord and Ninth that I've been waiting for ages to get hold of, called Hello Lovely, and I'm using the large bouquet stamp only from this stamp set. Oh, and one of the sentiments. I'm going to be watercolouring the image using Distress inks. Now, I haven't used these before. These are also brand new to me, and so I don't know how they're going to really behave as a watercolour, so I decided that I would stamp the image in a pigment ink, and I've used Fog pigment ink from Avery Elle, and I'm going to clear heat emboss the image, and that way I get to have the image in the grey shade that I want, but it's also a little bit more forgiving when you're watercolouring because it gives you sort of a boundary within which you can keep the colour. It's a little bit more forgiving, definitely, when you've got it embossed. So I stamped it using the Misty. I stamped a couple of times. I got a good image the first time, but I always like, just because I can, I always like to give it 2 stamps at least. Now, what I've made here, I've had these for years, years and years, and it's just a piece of white card that I've ran through a laminator. I've got a few of them, and they're great to have on hand, and I just use them as little ink palettes, if you like. So I've taken some of the Wilted Violet Distress Oxide ink and made myself a little pool, if you like, and sprayed it with some water just to give me the watercolour medium that I'm after. I also like to go over the image first with just plain water, just to give it something to kind of adhere to, I suppose, or helps it blend. It helps it kind of spread on the paper. The paper I'm using, by the way, is Bristol Smooth cardstock, which is my favourite cardstock for watercolouring by far. So I've just cut that down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, I think. And I'm going to die cut that at some point later, or maybe I didn't in this card, I can't remember. So I've just gone down, I've added some worn lipstick as well, just to give it some variation of colour, and I'm just going over each of the small flowers with a first layer. I do dab off in between if I want to remove a little bit of the ink, just to help build up layers. The beauty of the Distress Oxide inks is that they sit on top of each other rather than blending into one another, especially if you give them a little bit of time to dry in between. So I've done the leaves with peeled paint, and then to give me a variation of green, I only have one green Distress Oxide ink, so I used a little bit of cracked pistachio and mixed it in, and it has given me a kind of slightly different shade of green. I've dried it off, and now I'm going over with another layer, and this is where you get the unique effect with the Distress Oxide inks. They start to build up layers and sit on top of each other, and you get a really unique effect. It's not really like anything else. Just to finish off, I've coloured everything in now, but I just thought you do with this stamp, there is already kind of splatters in the stamp set, in that stamp image rather, but I thought I would just splatter a few more little spots here and there in the Wilted Violet. For my sentiment, I took the thanks image from the stamp set, and I've just stamped it onto some Fog cardstock and heat embossed that in white. The panel is actually mounted on foam tape as well, and I'm just mounting the little thanks sentiment. Just wanted to keep everything simple. It's literally just that stamp and nothing else really. The stamp and the sentiment, I haven't really done anything else with it, and I think it's just the most beautiful stamp set in the world. I love it to bits, and I'm so pleased to have it. But that's the card finished. I decided to just keep it simple with this one. I have created another card. I couldn't put it away once I got this stamp set out. And for the second card, I stamped it again onto the Bristol Smooth cardstock, but I stamped it in the navy blue sapphire pigment ink from Avery Elle. And again, I heat embossed it in clear, but this time I used Zig Clean Colour brush markers, and I just coloured in the one big flower in the middle. Then I went over it with the Spectrum Noir shimmer pen just to give it some extra little sparkle, and finished off with a few little Nouveau glitter drops here and there and in the centre of the flowers. The sentiment on this card is from the Label Love set from Altenew, and again that's stamped in the corresponding ink, the same ink, not corresponding, same ink, the Sapphire Avery Elle pigment ink. And then I would die cut that panel and just offset it on the card base, which is also one of the note cards from the Caribbean collection, I think it is, of note cards from Avery Elle. And that's that card finished too. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and please subscribe because I'll hopefully be back soon with some more videos. Thanks, bye.